Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. So now we're going to look at chapter 3. So we are moving to chapter 3, competitive model and social welfare. And we're going to learn topic 3.2, which is the case of private and public goods, right? So what is private goods it's all about? So first of all, we need to learn the market models. These are the fundamentals. So a market refers to the interaction between consumers and producers to exchange a well-defined commodity. And this is the critical steps in economic analysis. So market is an interaction or transaction between consumers and producers buying and selling. Transaction is known as market. And then, so we're going to look at the supply and demand, all right? So as you all know, yes, supply, the definition of supply, it is the willingness of producer to sell goods and services at specified prices. And for demand, it is the willingness of the consumers to buy goods and services at specified prices, right? So the interaction between demand and supply is known as market, right? Okay, so our main concern is that we need to know the welfare measure. So welfare can be measured by analyzing the consumer surplus as well as the producer surplus, right? So consumer surplus is the net benefit to buyers estimated by the excess of marginal benefit of consumption over market price aggregated over all unit purchased. And graphically, it's a triangular area above the price and below the demand curve, right? So this is, as you can see here, this is actually the demand curve. The demand curve is downward sloping to indicate the law of demand, which means when price increases, quantity demanded decreases and vice versa. So that is actually the demand for the private goods, right? So here is the consumer surplus, yeah? So the consumer surplus is above the price, and it is the shape is triangle, yeah, triangle shape, right? And if you calculate this consumer surplus by having these prices, right, and this is a maximum one. So when we calculate the consumer surplus, we will get $8.99 here. And then for producer surplus is the net gain to sellers of a good estimated by the excess of the market price over marginal cost aggregated over all units sold. And graphically is a triangular area above the marginal cost curve up to the price level, right? So this is the supply curve. The supply curve is upward sloping to indicate the law of supply, which means when price increases, quantity supply increase and vice versa. So here, this is a triangle area of a producer surplus. And when we calculate these producer surplus, we will get $2.2475, right? And to measure the, when we interact them together and when we combine them together, so we will get the deadweight loss. Okay, so society's welfare can be captured through the sum of the consumer surplus and producer surplus. And by comparing this measure before and after a market disturbance, we'll have to quantify how society is affected by the disturbance through deadweight loss. And this deadweight loss is the net loss of consumers as well as the producer surplus due to an allocative inefficient market event. So because of allocative inefficiency, then consumers and producer will face losses. And the deadweight loss is up to this area, C plus E here, right? So this is the area of the what we call as the loss of the consumer, and this is the area where the producer loss of the producer. And when we calculate for this one, we will get $1,000 as the deadweight loss, right? And so we also face the problem, yeah, environmental problem. So we will face with the market failure. right? So market failure is the result of an inefficient market condition, such as imperfect competition, imperfect information, public good and externalities. So the environmental problems can be modeled as market failure. So using the theory that they already developed. Yeah, so we have the theory of public goods and theory of externalities. And if the market is defined as environmental quality, then the sources of the market failure is the environmental quality, is the public good. And if the market is defined as the good whose production or consumption generates environmental damage, then the market failure is due to an externality. So what is our concern in this chapter is that we're going to look at the public goods, right? So what is public good? Public good is a commodity that is non-rival and consumption and yields non-excludable benefit. So these are the characteristics of the public good. Okay, the features of the public good, non-rivalness and non-excludability. So what is the meaning of non-rivalness? The characteristic of indivisible benefit of consumption, such that one person consumption does not preclude that of another. And non-excludability means the characteristic that makes it impossible to prevent others from sharing in the benefit of consumption. So here we cannot restrict other person to buy the public goods, and we cannot avoid them to buy the public goods. So that's why we say that public goods is non-rival and non-excludable in nature, right? So the other market definition is the public good, environmental quality, which possesses this characteristic, right? Okay, so public goods generate market failure, yeah, because the non-rivalness and non-excludability characteristics prevent market incentive from achieving allocative efficiency. So achieving allocative efficiency in a public good market depends on the existence of well-defined demand and supply function. So the problem is that the public good definition disallows the conventional derivation of market demand. All right, so market demand for public good in theory, yeah, market demand for public good is found by vertically summing individuals' demand. And vertical sum because we must ask consumers what price would you be willing to pay for each quantity of the public good, yeah. But the problem is that the consumers are unwilling to reveal their willingness to pay because they can share in consuming the public good even when purchased by someone else, meaning that they are free to buy, meaning that they cannot be excluded and to buy the public goods. So because of that, they will not reveal their willingness to pay, and they will always not willing to pay for the public goods. Yeah, all right. And the problem of non-revelation of preference will arises due to the free ridership. And then result is that market demand is undefined. In addition, lack of awareness of environmental problem. So imperfect information exacerbates the problem. And consequently, allocative efficiency cannot be achieved without third-party intervention. So meaning that we need to have, we cannot do this without the intervention of the third party, which means we need to have the government to help, right? And then what are the solutions? So of course, with the government intervention, so government might respond through direct provision of public goods, and government might use political procedure and voting rules to identify society's preference about the public goods, right? So that's all for this topic, and we will go to the next topic after this. Thank you.